Hello and welcome back to Star Citizen. My name is Lease, and today on 10 Minutes More or Less Ship Review, right behind me I have the Starlancer Max. Let's go ahead and take a look. Alright, welcome back everybody to another ship review. Today, the MISC Starlancer Max, a brand new to us ship, just brought into the PTU. So today I'm going to tell you what the stats look like, how the whole ship looks like. We're going to take a really good look. It's a fantastic looking ship, as you can see. Now, before I do that, I just want to make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel, because if you are, you'll get notified of giveaways, you'll get notified of other ship reviews, including the Polaris, which is next. Oh, that's going to take me a moment. And, there's just a lot of good stuff coming. So make sure you're subscribed, and let's go ahead and move on to this review. Taking a look at the Starlancer Max, she is priced at $225 as a Warbond if you're to buy it with pure money only. Now, if you're to buy it with store credit, it is $250. So there's no in-game price at this time, because it won't be available to purchase in-game for a few patch cycles, as always with any new ship. Now, taking a look at its damage output, this thing has quite a few guns on it. Now, it has 4 pilot-controlled weapons, 2 on each turret on each side, giving you a total of 2,472 pilot DPS, or damage per second, and that's 4 size 4 M6A laser cannons. Outside of that, you do have 2 remote turrets with 4 size 4 CF447 rhinos, outputting about 1,736 damage per second. So this thing has got quite the damage output on it, especially if you have it manned, which is pretty awesome. It looks fantastic. That front turret has quite a great fire angle. That back turret only is focusing on the rear end of the ship, but is totally awesome either way. Now, looking past that, the pilot does have 16 size 3 Thunderbolt 3 missiles, so you got some missile payload as well, allowing you to really hammer down on whatever you're going after if you're taking this ship out and they try to attack you. Now, it is a cargo ship. It's meant to transport cargo, but it's just really nice that, for once, we have a cargo ship with a really good defensive package on it, and somewhat of a great offensive package, too. So, gotta love that. Now, moving past the damage it can output, what about the damage it can take? You're looking at 56,100 shield HP, so it's allowing you to take some pretty good hits before you have to go ahead and, retreat. Past the shield, you also have 83,404 ship HP. So again, one day we won't have ship health points, and it'll be more or less, relying on the actual components of the ship as well as the paneling and everything, and how much a ship shoots through you and tears you apart. But as of right now, that is a fantastic ship HP or health pool, and I really like where that's sitting. It's a good amount. Now, if you get attacked, you're definitely going to be able to withstand that attack for a little bit. Again, this is a ship that has engine nacelles on the outside. They're not attached to the whole of the ship, so you got to be careful not to lose those. If you do, there's a good chance you're not going to be able to fly too well. The ship has no VTOL thrusters, so nothing to look at there. And then other than that, this ship can carry up to 224 SCU of cargo on its grid, which I will show you exactly where that is. Now, before doing so, let's talk about the ship's speed. This is really the only real negative factor about the Starlancer Max, and potentially the entire Starlancer series, is that it's dreadfully slow. It's one of the slowest ships in the game. It's not the slowest, but one of the slowest. At a total of 115 SCM speed, with a 315 forward boost and a 115 backwards boost, with a 950 nav speed. Honestly, it's not terrible. When you're actually flying it, you don't feel it too much. you just, press down that booster and hope you get to your destination within the hour, right? But otherwise, it's a great feeling ship. Its pitch yaw roll is 31-31-65. Again, not the most maneuverable, which is pretty crazy given the fact you look at this thing, it has a lot of maneuvering thrusters. You think it'd be able to roll a little bit better, but it's definitely pretty great. Otherwise, it feels nice. The maneuverability isn't, world's end. It's not a ship that's meant to be highly maneuverable, and the speed is kind of disappointing. That's really my only negative point for this ship, and that's kind of where it's at. Now, looking at the hydrogen fuel and the quantum fuel, you're at 50 SCU of hydrogen fuel and 8.5 SCU of quantum fuel, which is actually a fantastic amount. This thing will be great to go back and forth between Stanton and Pyro. So can't wait to bring this out in 4.0 soon and give it a shot. Now, let's go ahead and hop into the interior, which you can see right now. This is the cargo bay. I'm currently in space, so I'll open up the cargo bay door. I decided to do this one out in space, get a little bit more peace away from the planets. But it's a really nice cargo bay door here. It comes out very easily, very nice, flush against the ground, which we'll take a look at here in just a second. And then if you walk into the cargo bay, you have plenty of room for a vehicle. So this right here, as you can see, there's the striping on the ground. This is where a lot of the cargo will sit. That's your cargo grid. As you can see, the mag plates there, and they're on both sides. So it holds the cargo there, some of the cargo, and then you can put an ROC or a multitude of vehicles right here, including people who have fit the Pisces. You can land a Pisces in here. So landing a medical Pisces or putting a NURSA in here, you have a lot of opportunity to turn this ship into a home base, and it feels fantastic. And then looking around in here, you do have two elevators, one here and one here. Both goes up to engineering, and that feels good. You have a nice fire extinguisher, a lot of good details. The ship is fantastic and filled with the details. So if you go in here, obviously you have your cargo deck, which we're at, and habitation. So it takes you straight on up. Now, past that, we're going to go ahead and continue on this floor, take a look at everything down here, and then we'll move on from there. Right here is the rest of your cargo deck. This is something the Carrack is really desperately in need of, which is the opening and dropping cargo doors. Look how amazing that is. That just looks fantastic. So you'll be able to load up the rest of the cargo that you need to carry right here, which is great. Now, people have already been pushing that cargo limit to its max, going from 224 SCU of cargo all the way up to over 300 just by shoving it in odd places. So it's pretty cool. I love this, like gantry of sorts, like this walkway when you have that open. It is a really cool feeling, and it just looks fantastic. Look at that detail. The lighting looks great. They did a phenomenal job on the Starlancer here. Phenomenal. Now, right here is another elevator that goes up to the bridge area, as well as right here, a docking collar. So if you were to open this up, it has a docking collar, so sooner or later. I'm not sure if this ship came with the docking functions added. I know the Polaris did, but this one does have the collar for when it is ready, so that is pretty nice. Going to go ahead and close this up, and then we'll move on to the next part of the ship, which is the armory. This ship has an armory. You can sit right here while you're getting dressed and everything. You got multitude of suit lockers, as well as a beautiful weapons rack holding enough weapons for your crew, enough handguns, everything you need right here. Got to love that. The fact that it has an armory, sold. Done. Moving on, we're going to go ahead and hop into that elevator, and we'll move up to the next deck and take a look from there. We'll start in the cockpit and make our way all the way to the back. Ooh, I'm just so excited. It's hard to... I'm like giddy over this ship. It looks fantastic. I'm super excited about that. So let's move on up to the upper deck. You don't even need to hold it up. It's great with the wording. And this one can go to the bottom too and exit the ship. So a second entry, make it a third entry. Fantastic. More entries, the better. They learn their lesson after the MSR and they ain't doing that again. From here, you can see you do have some components like the life support, the gravity generator. Moving forward, you have escape pods for your crew, 2 on the right, 2 on the left, and then continuing on into the bridge, where people have the biggest complaint about the ship, which I'll tell you about in just a second. Right here is one of the remote turret seats with a great little window view. It looks fantastic. I gotta love that. More windows, the better. And another one behind them, another remote turret seat. Just, it feels awesome. That's a pretty cool look. And then you have a little bit more access to some components here, including a fire extinguisher and a relay box. So one of your relays is up in the cockpit. Now, right here is the biggest complaint that people have is the size of this dash. just make sure you stop by the local store and get a nice fitting, rug to put up there, and it'll look great. Have some nice bobbleheads and stuff. But yeah, they could have technically pushed this dash up another, 5 feet potentially, and not taken away room from the other seat. But, I don't know how they have this built in. Technically, we could be seeing not nearly as much of what is actually behind there and requiring the distance. But either way, the view, and I'll show you really quick, isn't terrible. Man, I'm about to be hitting that 10-minute mark. But anyways, we're going to go just a minute or two over. Not a big deal. We're going to take a look here. So as you can see, the view is not terrible. And then you have, you got your MFDs left, right, center. It looks really great. For some reason, I can't turn my camera right now, but that's all right. It's a great looking ship. It's got that mailbox design. If you didn't really like MISC in the first place because of this, you won't like it anyways. So moving on, let's take a look at the next portion of the ship, which is back towards the habitation and living area for your crew. Got to go through a couple doors here. They took some notes from Crusader and passed it on. A fantastic living area here, allowing you to go ahead and sit down, have a drink. It looks like a nice bar with a great kitchen area. Right above the seating, you have a nice slit window here, which looks great. Be able to see some of the stars while you're moving. It's giving you some of the view out into the world of space. Right here, you have a nice seating area. You can sit down and eat as well if you don't want to sit at the bar. Another slit-looking window here that allows you to look out while you're enjoying your time. And then a beautiful pool table with a fire extinguisher and pool table cue holders. All right, this is great. Pool cue holders. They don't have this for the Carrack. They need that. I feel like I don't remember seeing that in there. So can't wait to have pool table operational in the ship. Moving on back to where your crew would lay down and sleep. If you go ahead and make your way around the corner here, each one of these rooms are mirrored, so expect the same thing. You have a desk here with a nice little, little fridge and a double bed. So double bed and a bathroom, which is pretty nice. From here, you do have the restroom, and right behind you, you have a mirror. It's funny, in the Polaris, they have working mirrors because they're actually screens with cameras, which is too bad that these ones don't do that. You can pick up any of these right here, which is little neat details and features. I'm not going to spend too much time in the bathroom. They don't like me. So moving on into the rest of the ship here. Here is those elevators I was talking about. I forgot they went into this area, not exactly engineering, but it's right next to it. So yeah, like I said, each one of the hab rooms are completely mirrored. So same thing, bathroom, everything. It looks fantastic. I mean, they are great looking rooms, and I do appreciate the time that they put in to allow this. And double beds. Tried to test that out the other day. They did not work. So you can lay in it, but you can't lay two people. Well, we tried. Maybe you can. You just got to really squeeze in there somehow. But it's just a really nice looking designed rooms for the crew. I'd say probably the best crew rooms on a ship so far. It looks fantastic. Moving back to the final corridor and room of the ship here. This is engineering. Well, you'll be taking care of the entirety of your ship, from maintaining the engines to taking care of even more fuse relay boxes. You got one here, you got one there, and then you got your components left, right on each side, as well as your massive, beautiful looking engines, and it just looks great. And your engineering terminal. So it's allowing you to go ahead and take care of the ship primarily from just the rear here, and that looks fantastic. So, what do I think of the Starlancer Max? Honestly, the Starlancer Max here is a phenomenal ship, and it looks great. Now, the price outside of the game, I think, is beautiful. I mean, if you want to support the project and you're looking to spend the money, it's a great price for what you get, and you get quite a bit. Now, if you are wanting to wait to buy it in game, it'd be a couple patches, but it'd be totally worth it. And I suggest buying this thing immediately when you get the chance in game. It is going to be a fantastic purchase. Now, outside of that, I think we're going to see the Starlancer attack probably around Invictus, because that is a military event and it's kind of a military-styled variant of this ship. But we'll see. Maybe it'll be even later in the year. Hopefully it's Invictus. Again, we'll see. You never know. Now, looking at this ship, honestly, this ship is a 9 out of 10 for me. It's amazing, beautiful design. The mailbox design doesn't bother me. Even with how big that dash is, it still feels great to fly, and she is just a beautiful ship. Honestly, 9 out of 10, just because of that extremely slow speed, but outside of that, totally worth the price. price. Let me know, what do you think of the Starlancer Max down in the comments below. Did you end up picking one up? Do you plan on picking one up? What do you think? Are you going to get the Starlancer TAC? The Starlancer BLD, the build version? There is so many options for this ship, and it's totally going to be a fantastic boat in the verse. I'm happy they brought it along. Thank you, everybody, for watching. You all have been fantastic. If you want to take a look at the Polaris from my channel before I get my review out on it, because it's going to be a little bit, probably a day or two, or even 3, because of how big it is. I want to make sure I get every detail. Go ahead and check out the live stream from yesterday, because I did take a long time looking at it, and we also did some group activity with some of the people on the channel. So you guys are awesome. Thank you again for watching. See you in the next one.